On today, guys, Primal Sabbath here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Pulse exclusive, I guess. I don't know. I think this is available at, like, Entertainment Earth, too, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, for the meantime, it's a Pulse exclusive. War for Cybertron, Siege, G2, Combat Hero Megatron. This thing is pretty cool. Like, at first I was pretty much, like, not getting Siege figures. I got a couple to replace some old Chug stuff. But as far as like newer things, I was like, for the most part, staying out of them. But I'm pretty impressed with this, and I'll get into it. First of all, the box that it comes in. So you get all this, and we see this Takara Tomy logo up here. So I'm gonna assume that at some point you'll be able to get this through Takara Tomy, whether or not it'll be a LGEX release or a regular release like Throne of the Primes was. Who knows? But I do like the box. This kind of like brown mailer box reminds me of like, you know, the old Collectors Club figure subscription service stuff. And you got this kind of cool design stuff in here, just honeycomb Cybertronian looking stuff in there. Would have been cooler with a foam insert, but I'm not exactly like I'm not you know, hating on the plastic tray. I think it's just the plastic tray they used from the regular retail version of the toy. So anyways, I do think that's cool. I like I don't know if necessarily that's a nod to the old Fun Pub stuff, but I certainly appreciate it. As far as what is and is not a nod to the old Fun Pub stuff, I would say this 100% is. It's really cool to have this, and like it reminded me of that kind of last figure subscription service that we got. You know, we got the G2 Combat Hero Megatron in a different form than this, so it's cool to have this to kind of go with it. He was as a pretender, a double pretender actually, so there's just the shell. I got the little robot mode guy for robot mode comparison. I didn't turn him into a little tank or anything like that, so you have to bear with us from there. But this was like part of the release, and we also got the Monkey Optimus Prime, and I think there was a box set from like Power of the Primes or Titan's Return or something like that that had I think it was like the Siege on Cybertron, which is, you know, or maybe it was Chaos on Velocitron. I really can't remember which one of those two it was. However, it had like a G2, I guess more of a G2 deco for the G2 Prime homage that even came out at retail, and I'm thinking about picking that up just to kind of go with this to, you know, more or less mirror what the club gave me. So if you want a really cool history kind of lesson on this deco, on this guy, I'm going to try to paraphrase what all I can remember, but anyone who follows Jesse Wittenrich on Twitter, you can go check his Twitter out. As of this recording, it's probably only a day or two old, so really, really interesting write-up on how, like, these actually, or the original, I should say, actually came out only, you know, or hit the market a few years ago, and it was basically, like, you can also look up some old school, like, Toy Fair 95 YouTube videos, and you can see one of the reps demoing this guy off, or not this one, but the original, of course, which I think is also pretty cool. So as far as tank mode goes, I'm very impressed with this just as a figure in general, and this has almost convinced me to jump in on that Siege bandwagon. Almost. I still want to kind of check out the comics and see how I like the story, and if the designs are followed close enough by the toy line, I may be in a world of trouble there. But real quick, the tank turret can rotate. Personally, I like it facing this way. I don't like the elongated backside. I like for the backside to be kind of shorter. And this just like, I feel like these kind of work as battering rams, even though I think they're technically supposed to be boosters. But, you know, your imagination and all that, you can do it however you want. I just think that has a better profile than, you know, turned all the way around like this. So pretty neat. But yes, the originals, they were found and kind of put up on eBay in mass a few years ago, and some people got them, some people didn't. I was fortunate to be able to watch Pete Sinclair open one up at the first RoboCon, which was pretty cool. Like, going through my mind at the time, I was like, oh, it's just some G2 junk. But like, I didn't know anything about the deco on it or anything like that. So it's really cool they managed to get this out. I think this is a great direction for Hasbro Pulse, or for Hasbro to go into, to kind of sort of give us a semblance of a collector's club. I think it's funny that they're still doing like fun pub ideas. You know, I don't know why they didn't keep that creative team around. Maybe that's something they should look into. You know, because like for the time, it's just like, oh hey, look, a reused Collectors Club thing. So you know, take with that what you may. You know, or you make your own kind of judgment call on that. But that's just kind of how I feel. I'm like, but I like it. It reminds me of the old Collectors Club and BotCon and stuff like that. So other than that, there's really not much left to say for tank mode. I like the kind of fade here with the greens to blacks. I don't think it really works too well with this because it's like we go from green to black and then green to black again. It's just a little silly there deco-wise. I do like the MGTN 95 there, which is, I'll go ahead and get this guy out. We also see was on him. I think this actually does become the bottom part. But we got it on both sides on this little guy. So that is also pretty cool. You know, little attention to detail type stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing into its robot mode, and we will continue on from there. Alright, so here we have Crazy Tiger Strike Camo Deco Megatron in his robot mode, and what I like about this is you can do a couple of different things here. For the meantime, I'm going to kind of keep it like this, although I do prefer the cannon on the arm. I can't remember which arm the cannon particularly goes on for the combat hero. I don't know if that's okay. All right, that's white plastic. I thought that was white paint for a minute. Something I will note is that the ankle setup here isn't super ideal. I don't know, maybe it looks like that's supposed to clip in, or I don't know if that's supposed to be a stopper. I'm probably going to break it. Yeah, too much force. That's not... Well, that one goes all the way, so that means this one, in theory, should. So, I don't know. Don't know what's happening here. Let's give her a quick pause. Alright, so a bit of a false alarm maybe. Like, this came off fairly easy, which, I mean, I'm glad it did for the most part. And, like, these, if you don't want these ankle rockers, you can kind of, sort of lock them in. This one's a little looser than this one, but they kind of clip in and out if you can hear. That one, you know, it is what it is. But with this, I just kind of had to... This is on just a pressure joint, and I had to, like, you can see where it's kind of sort of stressed. It's not, well, I guess that one is too. I don't know, but to me, I would think that the feet would have to be flat. So, and now he's kind of standing sort of better. He's a little back heavy, but that's okay, I guess. Once you kind of get his ankles working just right. A stance him, kind of spread him out a little bit. It's not too terrible. Play with the hips some, but, and I don't know if maybe it's because I got all this junk on the back, but anyways, I can't remember which one of these arms this cannon went on the original, so for the sake of what I'm familiar with, we're just going to put it on that arm. That kind of loosened up some of that. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Let's maybe keep those to where they're kind of folded out a little. Oh no, it's still not quite working. And then like this, you gotta kind of... I don't like that. Like, I was kind of having some fun messing with it earlier, but now I'm just like, I don't know. I may not be sold on this line after all. And that's fine. I'm a Beast Wars guy anyways, but maybe we just gotta lock these ankle pieces in. Now this isn't one to lock in at all. Okay, there's a little bit. So there's my issues, just right out the gate, I guess. Something I guess I didn't know or notice at first, but anyways, feet issues notwithstanding. Let me see if I take that off. Maybe that's a little bit better. He's still kind of rocking back more than I would like for him to. But I don't know. Maybe it's mine. Maybe the original toy is a lot better. I'm not 100% sure. So let's go ahead and talk about the deco, the new head sculpt, everything. Let's still stick this back here. I like that he does have some like backpack weapon storage, even though it does kind of make him back heavy to some degree, depending on how you stand him, how his legs are. But yeah, so deco wise, here's the club little guy, and so you can kind of see the colors are definitely a little bit different. I feel like the club one isn't as close to the original colors. Like, I feel like this one is definitely a lot closer to those colors, just kind of basing it off of memory. But this little guy is meant to kind of go more with that Pretender Megatron anyways. I think these colors work better with that. So instead of tan, he's more gray, and the green is actually a little darker, kind of a little more metallic, which looks good in its own right. But kind of going in on the head sculpt here, I'm going to try to get the little guy in here as well. There he is, my little guy. Very much the same kind of homage to this. Some people have speculated that maybe we will see Minor Megatron, which is who the little guy is based off of, but I'd be cooler if we didn't. So far, I'm just kind of treat this as a club homage more than anything else. So there's that. As far as this kind of black-green, black fade here on the cannon, works a lot better in robot mode, which that's the mode that matters if we're being honest. Some other kind of differences is we have like Megatron with the kind of lightning bolts, and on this we actually have the little G2 Decepticon symbol. I kind of wish they would have done that instead of the typical G2 Megatron thing, and I wish they would have inverted one of these little Power Ranger symbols. So that's just kind of a minor gripe. I don't, I like how they're kind of, like you see, like they're kind of inverted each on this one. I like that look a lot more if they would have gone for that. Now this is probably, more toy accurate to the deco, blah blah blah. And that's all well and good, but just minor gripes that I have, which are mostly just to me, limited to me. This backpack, well, it's pegging in a little bit better now, but it's not the securest connection. And a lot of people that have probably had this mold for a good bit of time now are, thinking, well, duh. But this is my first time with the mold. Not entirely sold on these ankles, these heels. It's like, I just don't, and like, what's the point of having the back storage if you can't utilize it? He does look pretty cool, however, holding this as a sword. So there's that. I don't ever really recall G2 Megatron doing the whole sword thing, but you can do whatever you want to with it. I think it's cool. But yeah, I think this is Hasbro being on the right path to offering like a new collector's club sort of thing. I think it still needs some fine tuning. Like I like the whole Ectotron deal, which I opted out of. That's not something for me. But this is a step in the right direction. I wish, though, if they were going to use some old collector's club ideas, that they would just bring on the old creative team. I mean, they still had a lot of really cool concepts and ideas, and I think doing them through Pulse would be pretty sweet. Like, I think that would be a cool thing to kind of see and to kind of get and have those creative minds working on everything. But in the meantime, it's just rehashed club ideas, which they're cool. I love these ideas, but whether or not they're kind of going to do this going forward, I don't know. So if you pick this up from Pulse, I think it was $30 if you got it within a certain amount of time. It was with free shipping. You could, anything that's in stock, you can pay with PayPal, which I think is also great. Anything that is pre-order, you have to pay with a credit card, and there's some discrepancies of how much they hold out in that kind of pre-charged form. So that's something to kind of think about, maybe do a little bit of research on. But as far as in-stock stuff, this is great. They ship through FedEx. Make sure you get on. I think today, as of this recording, I think is the last cutoff. I think it's the 25th or something like that. So if you don't get free shipping, they use FedEx, and it is incredibly expensive, and that's something I think they do need some work on. As far as offering us something really cool, I dig it. I hope they continue to kind of do this kind of stuff. I hope we get some canceled Beast Wars decos. I'm always talking about the Amber Tarantulas, or even the, even Green Ramulus or Blue Miner, or, there's so many of them. I say there's so many, like Orange Tigatron, the Spots painted apps, Dinobot, like there's so much, and I hope this is going to be a cool way to get some of that stuff. Either from original molds, or maybe even if they do some new molds. Like, I think I would ultimately be okay with it. I'd prefer original stuff, but hey, it is what it is, and I'm willing to accept this if this is kind of a new collectors club thing going forward. You get the options. Hopefully they offer more with a $50 membership incentive other than free shipping in the future, and maybe they just drop FedEx. But other than that, good kind of first start. It's been a few years since I've had the collectors club sort of itch scratched, so I'm digging this. I'm thinking this is really cool. But if you guys have any questions or comments about this Combat Hero Megatron, let me know. Let me know how you dig these Siege figures, because like this has almost sold me. I'm waiting on the fiction, and if the fiction is up to par, then I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So it's gonna be a nightmare. But yeah, this is a pretty cool figure. I may pick up the regular one, just because I'm kind of a Megatron guy. I like all the iterations of Megatron. But other than that, man, this has been pretty cool. I hope we get some more stuff like this. I hope that Ectotron thing does well enough. I just hope they do some more stuff like that isn't properties I could give a crap less about. But anyways, yeah. So thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box. Blah 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 blah. And I'll see you guys later.